Welcome everybody. Take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. I hope you're having a great day or you had a great day, depending where you are in the world. And thank you for spending your time with me now. So I have a union read and a twin flame read. Very kind of unusual today, but very interesting information coming through. So we're going to roll the die first and see what's going on. And then we'll get right into the union read because there's a lot of information coming up. The 2 of the High Priestess, which is also Pisces for me. It's also the month of February, which is Aquarius going into Pisces. We have Jupiter here, which also looks like the number 4 in the Emperor, but Jupiter is Sagittarius. And we have Capricorn here too, all about responsibilities and restrictions. So we have the Jupiter and Saturn together, kind of, canceling each other out. That's kind of more of a neutral energy. And then the 2 of the year that it is, the 2022, it's a 22 is a 4 and it's a 6 year, but the 2 is the number that's very focused here, and the one-to-one interactions that we experience, as well as the divine feminine energy and the psychic energies of the High Priestess. So let's see where this goes. And it's really like the Jupiter and Saturn, it's kind of like the polarities, and then the energy of the feminine bringing it to the middle. So first I'm going to show you the pictures because I just had the 2 reads. I have the union read here, which is 4D, 5D, and 60. I'm sorry, that's not the union read. This is the union read, 4D, 5D, and 60. This is 4D, 5D, 60. Divine feminine left, divine masculine on the right. The bridge between in the middle, the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the closing energies over here of the King of Wands. And the 6 of Cups, I just pulled a few extra cards on either side there. And then the card read on the table, which is the general all-encompassing twin flame read for all the twins, the SIRIAN Starseed deck again, and then the full 7 deck read here with all the clarifiers. Okay, so I did it a little bit different today for that read too. I did a run through before clarifying everything with all the cards upright, as in the basic read, before starting, because usually I do that summary at the end, but I started that at the beginning this time, and it brought up some really interesting information, so that was kind of cool. Okay, so it's January 2nd, 2022. So the number of the 9, which is endings, completion, compassion, the collective consciousness, and the number of the 2, which again is the High Priestess. And they're both very feminine energies of service, the collective feminine. And I started this union read at 10:10 last night. I don't usually start these reads late, but I did last night, and it came up very interesting actually. 4D, 5D, 60, and there was a movie on Zone 414. For me it was okay, but just the energy of the title, Zone 414, which brings in the 41 and the 14 of the love and the higher love. And this read starts out with the underlying energy of the 6 of Cups, the children loving each other, the central energy of the Page of Swords, and then the closing energy of the King of Wands, Shaman, in this deck. The star child, the Page of Wands, in the sun, exposed. The children of the corn were also coming up here. The Page of Wands and the Page of Swords with the King of Wands Shaman sharing with the Hermit higher self. Dreams of the Page of Wands, fiery sign, removing the mask to be the Page of Swords with a message to the King of Wands Shaman, sharing with the Hermit, shedding light on sharing, shares, or settlement with the higher self. The incoming divine feminine here at 10:50, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 50 of the 10 of Cups, that emotional fulfillment, especially with the family energy, that could be happy endings as well. We have the 2 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands for the divine feminine. The twin flames hiding out of sight or below ground, the basement perhaps, rising above the dust, the ash, with flame in hand, up to the challenge. Loving children choosing fear and rising above, or choosing fear, and to rise above. The 4D here is abundance, transition, and the 7 of Cups. The Divine Feminine, abundant mother, easily carrying the weight of the Divine Masculine, and happily so. The Divine Masculine climbing the spiraling up to find justice, bridging by transitioning through the portal to meet on the other side. The 5D is the 6 of Swords, the Page of Swords, and justice. And the first word that was coming up was just air. The Divine Feminine, in sync swim, free swim, or friendly dolphin, reflecting Metatron's cube. The Divine Masculine, divine justice of hanging out in the portal on both sides, ringing the dinner bell, or hearing the Divine Feminine waiting there for him, finding her way to him without using her eyes, and bridging with the Page of Swords message of light at the top of Everest, the other side, the portal of 3 choices, here, there, or in the middle. And there's definitely this image coming up of 3 different portals at a juncture, like a pyramid coming together, where you can choose to go through any tunnel that you want. Like the Italian, French, and Swiss Alps coming together at the point as one, and Swiss a neutral zone 414 at 11:35, which is justice and the wounded warrior, the 9 of Wands. The 4D death and dark night, and the 5D birth and divine masculine with justice on his side, peaceful play on hers. With Atlas with just ice or justice, just ice, and Hercules is her Q, Le Fin, the dolphin. Atlas with just ice, her Q, Le Fin, which is Phi and N, the expansion and contraction or reflection of Jesus, life, death, and their rising. The 6D here is alchemy, the hanging man, and the 2 of Pentacles. The divine feminine alchemical, which breaks down to all, chi, and Michael, or my call. The pit is the seed. Colonel Sanders was coming up, as this was a play on Archangel Sandalphon as well. So the seed, and then Colonel Sanders, children of the pop's corn, and kernels of corny pops. Each grain of sand and grain, remember the Holy Grail is G in the rail. Well, here was coming up each grain, which is God's rain of sand. Sandalphon. So Sandalphon was coming up as the sand dolphin. Archangel Sandalphon is the saint dolphin on American air at your service, the divine masculine surrendering to all that is, all for one, one for all chi, my call, at 11:46, which is justice and the children loving each other and hugging in that innocent, pure love. At 11:47, justice and the 7 of Cups, Michael's lightning, or sand and dolphins, God's rain. So the grain is God's rain. Michael's lightning and sand and dolphins rain. Metatron tightening up his grip, and God panhandling pain. Her call, his all, and bridging in seeing, they woke up because they were feeling pain while they were asleep, to come out of it, to leave the nightmare, or not good night Mary, nightmare, and savior, the doctor EM as opposed to I am, and I was coming up as AYE, and then the Om of AUM, I ya Om, EY Aum. After all, the word I of EYE is EYE, or E, both with E, right? Because we have the EM or IM, which is still the letter E, because I is spelled EYE, not just the letter I. The EE then of energetic exchange of 2 I's, so now we have the rolling stone, right? Because the rolling stone is the EM3W. It's all the same letter, just rolling upside down. So the energetic exchange of 2 I's being actually E's facing each other, and then the eye in the middle of the third eye. And if you bring those two reflecting E's together with the eye in the middle, what does it become? It becomes that gift of the rolling stone, right? So a square box with a cross in the middle for the ribbon. And then what do we need on the top, right? We need the bow on top, or the ash. So here we have the iome after the I is I, and the E, both with E, and the energetic exchange of two I's with the third I, the letter I, in between, becoming the two bookends of the E and the 3 coming together in the I, making that gift that you are. E-I, E-I-Om, which is coming up as E-I is Ya, and E-I is Ya. It's coming up as Yaya's home, and Yaya is Greek for grandmother. So we have the EI3, the rolling stone. The E's reflecting with 3, and I, or 1 in the middle, is the present, the gift of sight. And the ash, the AE, which in Pleiadian is bright light, of the I, EY, or AYE. So then the definitions of AY, of the I, letter I, and EY, of the EYE word, I. And so the way they came up differently as was very cool. The I, I'm going to read them to you. So the letter I comes up associated with the AY, and the EYEI comes up associated with the EY. So AY is always, ever, continually, indefinite time, vegetable, moon, month, date, saint, leaf, there is, there are, I have, brim, yes, dog, and alas, woe, and AI, to be, oops, ow, ouch, oh, some. And then EY is the egg, the island, neutral third person, an exclamation of surprise, a challenge or inquiry. Always, I, or fear and awe, the dog, and hay, but hay is for horses. So the AY is the always of the saint, but also of vegetable, and AI, to be, oh, but also ouch and oops. And the IEY is a neutral third person, challenged by always with fear and awe, surprise, but both of them are dogs. The AY, I have indefinite time of the month continually, and the EY of an egg in an island, and hay, but hay is for horses, or for only whores to say. The stag and the mare, the saint and the ma, regarding a god, ending up with a pony or phony New York, filly or colt, or foes perhaps, the foals, mare foaled, lacks faith in her cards dealt, wanting to know what the sex is, or what sex it is, but it just is, at 12:25, which is the Hanging Man and the Knight of Wands. So the outgoing divine masculine here at 12:26, which is the Hanging Man and the Page of Wands, is the 8 of Pentacles, the 3 of Wands, and the 5 of Wands, working on steps with crystal etch, a gift or present to flame, to get her and friends to wave, in sync, or synchronized swaying and swooning under the hot, humid, or humming ID, or humming ID, the noise of song, a song with each note that others can join in and appreciate, or lighters in concert, under shaman seeking Schumann's residence, the hermit with high self, as higher self tells hermit what to say. Cyrano de Bergerac comes up here with a nose, and beautiful human to utter words through. The hermit whispering in the King of Wands' ear, with the divine feminine as the empress, with peace of a higher love, and the divine masculine following signs up the stairway to the hole, where he stands for justice, just ice without eyes, surrendering to all that is, when the eyes have it, remember the 3 eyes across, filling the hole in his heart. And we started all this with the 3 holes coming together at the peak of the pyramid. The bridge here is the transition through the lens, an open and shut case. The eye or the iris, the rods and cone heads, and ganglions from a serious place. Or a bridge or arc tore for us, reaching the top, or thought it was, only to realize it was another hole in the story, a valve, another goal to push you even farther than you ever thought you could go, a three-way door, the pyramid of Zion, the Christ got knocked down connection to keep their eye on the prize. Prize, PR, eyes, taking the high road to stop, hang, and think a bit at the Y or pyramid in the road. The Y is literally looking at a pyramid from the top down. The top down and side to side views. The Y's have it, an aerial view. Archangel Ariel in the sacral chakra, shocking Ra by saying cray-cray things. Oh, it's Ariel. It must be that time of the month. Ay, ay, ay. At 12:54, which is the hanging man in the Page of Swords. So it's like saying ay, ay, ay. So that's the AY. I. So then we have the at 12:55, which is the hanging man and the truth of Excalibur, the Ace of Swords. The AM, which becomes the PM. You're just losing one of the legs of the A. It's like X and Y losing one of the legs of the X, except the X and Y is 3 out of 4, but the AM to PM is 4 out of 5. Getting closer. At 12:56, the Divine Feminine, with Taurus and Sag on her side, along with probably Aquarius, Leo, and Sag, and perhaps the Page of Wands, and the Divine Masculine with Libra on their side, with possibly Virgo and Pisces as well, and the King of Wands for sure, and between the Masculine and Feminine were Scorpio and Pisces, or Capricorn, and the Page of Swords, or Message perhaps. Which was very interesting because Scorpio and Pisces were the only majors left out of the read on the table. In the major arcana here, the major cards. So in the major spread for the SIRIAN Starseed deck, the only signs that didn't come up in that read were Pisces and Scorpio. And here they are as the energies between the masculine and feminine. So we have the Y, which is looking at a pyramid from the sky, the 3 pyramid circle, like the Y, and the X is then looking at a pyramid of a 4-sided pyramid or a square pyramid from above. The circle and the square again of the 3 and the 4. The 3 changes of the 3 triangles in the circle, which is in alchemy, the feminine is the shape, but it's also coming up as the steering wheel. And then the masculine square, but it's coming up as the X here, which is feminine. The 4-sided pyramid square from the top are 4 changes instead of 3 triangles. There's 4 triangles. The 4th throwing a wrench into their plans, like the square, which is a block, or a car at the shop. The twin flames, or higher self, the number 2 of Phi, and the 9 of chariots of fire, and Phi, remember, is that expanding and contracting, or reflecting in the middle as the hermit, which then comes up as the chariots of fire in the middle. So the twin flames, or 2 higher self, 2 of Phi, and then the 9 of the hermit of chariots of Phi in the middle, and then the 8 of Christ Unity Dance, and the 3 of waves of flames, or the lion or strong one, and the mother or friend, the lighters in concert. Religion. The lion is coming up as a repeat of lie on moth urgently, and starseeds orchestrated. Rely on moth urgently, or fry in the end, starseeds orchestrated, with light court or night court. Tennis, anyone? So the overall number for this union read was the 55 of the Ace of Swords, Excalibur, the truth, and the horizontal pillars were 8, 6, and 41, which is strength, lovers, and the Ace of Cups. And then the vertical pillars came out to 8, 9, and 7, which is the strength card, the hermit, and the chariot. And then 6 and 0, which is the lovers and the 0 of source or space. And then the 9, 8, 3, 5 of the hermit, the Strength card, the 3 of the Empress, and the 5 of the Hierophant. And the messages came up as this. Excuse me. The strong dance of the lovers in new love and the whole truth. The dance of the hermit aligning with source and space. To or with the hermit to dance with the Empress and the Hierophant, or the wounded warrior's truth. Expanding and contracting with the 5 and the 8 of Pentacles, perhaps aligning at work, and the 0 of source and the human temperance, and the wounded warriors, Excalibur. It's like the human temperature, the expanding and contracting of the phi, which phi is always comes up as 89 in my reads, reflecting the 98 of human temperature, which came up here, both the 89 and the 98. So the expanding and contracting are staying in the middle, reflecting the working to align, get your ducks in a row, with space between that and the human temperature, which is the other polarity, and the wounded warriors, Excalibur, or the caliber of the X, or the truth. So, yeah, so that was the union read, and I had trouble sleeping, not all night, but I think there's a squirrel in my attic or something, because there keeps being something like scratching, and it'll wake me up in the middle of the night. And it was just kind of ironic, because when I woke up this morning, went to the kitchen, there were 3 squirrels on the deck looking like they owned the place, like they were on the railings, munching away on whatever they're eating. So I don't know if they found a way into my attic, but they could be. So I have to do something about that, but I don't want the exterminator to come and kill them. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but the energy yesterday was great. I did a whole lot of work, got a lot of work done, and today I'm exhausted, and it was dark out all day. So I'm kind of headachy, and then I slept a little late because whatever was in my attic or wherever was keeping me awake last night. So I'm kind of feeling that drained, kind of off energy today. This read in front of you, the twin flame read, was at 11:38 to 39 this morning, which is the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, along with the Justice. And so again, I'm not going to start out with the breakdowns yet, because I started just reviewing the read with just the basic cards. So this is how it went, and they were telling me to call it the preamble of January 2nd, 2022, which is the new moon today. So here on the East Coast, the new moon was at 1:33. So Justice or Libra, Abundance or the Empress or Taurus, and then Chariot, which is Cancer, and the twin flames, walking away and within, and up the spiral stairs, beyond the shadow grid, or to detox, truth and balance, abundance, and the mother, to move, travel, or ascend, or Libra and Taurus on vacation, the justice of Taurus and Cancer, or abundance of the mother between Libra and Cancer, taking the 8 of Cups, where 1 is on the ground, and moving the other 7 perfectly aligned, 7 on the ground, up the stairs, progressively skipping more and more steps, higher and higher, taking a huge leap to catch up from the ground to the first cup, running to catch up with the class, a running start or jump or leap to get there, detoxing the wounded warrior after done lighting the menorahs, using the 9th flame to separate 4 and 4 plus 1, the leader of 144, letting go of the 9, starting as one big flame, igniting the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, to send a 5D message, and challenged by the 5 of Swords, or the 4 of Swords, thoughts, rest, break, or perhaps at the beach, and the 5D connect, or to make sure you're well rested before speaking their truth. With the Knight of Cups in the green room, like Pinocchio rescuing Geppetto, showing the love before becoming a real live boy, at 12:04, which is the Hanging Man and the Emperor, Pinocchio rescuing Geppetto, showing the love before becoming a real live boy, and telling the truth for once, he must first find the courage of love. The twin flames seeing themselves as karma, or blossoming in a wake-up call to the crown. The key, the reflection of the heart's true desire and intention. calling upstairs for the Knight of Cups to come down, with Libra, Taurus, Cancer, Capricorn, Aquarius, Gemini or Virgo, Leo or Sag, and Aries, where only Scorpio and Pisces are not represented here, in the major arcana anyway, of the main part of the read. And that was at 12:07, the Hanging Man in the Chariot. And then arcana, they were guiding me to break down as arc, because we've been talking about the arch all week and the steeples. The arc of Anna, and Anna is the N in the middle, which is lowercase n is Jesus for me, and the uppercase n is Christ. So it's the Jesus in the middle, with the two lowercase a's are the circle of human embodiment of source, with the tail is connection. So the two humans with connections, like bookends around Jesus in the middle. So again, that's the pillar of the Golden Gate, the gate holders. At 12:09 is the Hanging Man and the Hermit. The arcana, the bridge ended by two humans with connections like bookends on either side and Jesus in the middle, or the monk key to shift the collective, with twin gate holders to monitor the hallways of the Library of Records at 12:12. Two hanging men, two hanging out. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Eight of Swords, anxieties, or their release from them, hiding in the woods by the creek out of view or sight, or hey, out of sight, or what did I write down here? Oh, so again, hiding in the woods by the creek out of view or out of sight, or hey man, out of sight, man. Navigating through without using your 3D eyes. But rather, the 8 spelled out, E-I-G-H-T, is the E-I-G-H of ice, and the T of the chakra system and Akashic records at the top. It's also the time out of sitting under a tree, the T. But of ice T, the T, the chakra system, and the hall of records on top, the E-I-G and H-T is the bridging at the height of orbs, thoughts, words, of blind men and orphans, without outside direction. The block here being the indigo child, dressed up in a white scrub top, with a proposal of big diamond, or perhaps a huge crystal they found, which is, oh, that's so funny. My son found a crystal when he was young. I've had it for a long, long time, and it looks like a quartz crystal. But he found it with his friend. They found a couple things, but that was one of the things they found. So that's funny. It just reminded me of that. So perhaps a huge crystal they found. The King of Wands shaman receiving multiple offers from the younger generation. The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the indigo child. The message in a bubble, the waves of love, and the polished diamond. No rough spots here. The King of Wands Leo or Sag, with the Emperor or Aries at night, after the war or growth spurt, resting with visitors and or with Cancer, or working at a hospital when it would normally be bring your kids to work day, and instead they can't even bring your child to visit you or your parents who are sick. A breakthrough between father and son perhaps, while convalescing or post-war PTSD, or with visitors, or coming together to lay things to rest, or just rest and allow others to do the entertaining for once. The shaman's breakthrough, the ring of fire, the circle of trust, birthing with a rebel yell and a mighty roar on the other side of shaman to Schumann resonance here, heard throughout the land. Pinocchio, a real live boy in his father's eyes, no longer just a toy or puppet, a piece of wood that can't be trusted. At 12:30, the Hanging Man and the union or home. Or only using him for his nose, hot on the scent, nothing but a hound dog, or pound to dollar dog, the wolf of Wall Street, where wolves of London fear to tread. At 12:36 to 7, a big love at work fell, and at 12:39, the King of Swords fell as well. At 12:33, which is the Hanging Man and the Christ vibration, or literally Christ himself on the cross. At 12:41, now we're getting into the read, is the Hanging Man and the 41 of new love, self-love, spiritual love. And TER of flames came up here. And also, it's coming up as the wrench in urgency of flames. The key here in patience and calm, because remember, urgency is fear. So again, putting a wrench in the urgency or fear of flames. The key here is in patience and calm. And then I finished clarifying at 12:59, which is the 12 of the Hanging Man and the 59 of the 5 of Swords, the War Within, which was reversed in this read. But it's also the moment before the 1 o'clock hour. The twin flames, the major arcana here were the Shadow, Karma, which is the Judgment card, and Indigo, which is the Magician. And before the read was Justice, Abundance, which is the Empress, and the Chariot. After the read, the Strength card, Reason, which is the Emperor, and Luna, which is the Moon. And today is the new moon. It was reversed, which represents for me the new moon. And notice that we have the Empress before the read and the Emperor after the read. And the Emperor's reversed, but the Empress is upright. So there's some kind of divide between the Emperor and Empress here for sure. There were 2 cups, 3 wands, and 3 swords in the read. There were no pentacles in the main cards. The Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Wands were the only court cards in the read anywhere, plus the 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior. As far as the numbers, we had 44 and 88 being most significant. The 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, the 4 of Cups. But it's also the Atlas energy in numerology. And then the 88 of the 2 twins dancing side by side, both who have integrated their masculine and feminine and doing the dance. The 789 comes up here, which is the 5D, as well as the 1 of the Magician, the 14 of the Temperance card, the 47 of the 7 of Cups, the Synchronicities, and the 48 of the Walking Away Within of the 8 of Cups. We also had the 1, 2, 3 jump, 1, 2, 3, 4 close the door, and the 34 of the energetic exchange of the 8 of Wands. The code line was all about karmic completion, leadership, spiritual partnership, but mostly change. And the code line was all about the number 21 coming up from 714, which 71421 is a natural sequence there of sevens. So the message here on the code line was very interesting today. So the acronym or word EIC was coming up, which as a word it doesn't come up, it's only an acronym. But EICH comes up, which means I in German, and the code line starts out with I and the key. So that was very much profound today, because we have the EIC flanking the 7 of the Chariot, which is also the feminine within the masculine, and then the line starting out with the I and the key of the T, which we just talked about, the T being the Akashic records and the chakra system. And so this is how it went. The I is the key. As we started out the read with the different spellings of I, with EYE, and the letter I, EY, AY, lots of ways to say it. And even when you spell it with I, you're still saying E at times. So the I key here, the chakra system and the library of T, the editors-in-chief on either end, with the 7 and the monk key in the middle, the chariot of the divine feminine within the masculine, ascending fast to the nth degree, in the acing the 5D connect, or rest or break, with the knight, or ability to have the key of the indigo, of karmic seeing the completion as opposed to completion. Instead of rushing to get it done, enjoy the journey, or the the sound of the universe along the way, of the happiness hotel, or the mercy ship, and the spiritual partnership, or partnership. So really learning to appreciate the arts and entertainment of life, not just the work. And then we have, again, at 133, the IT, which also, when the T, part of it's not showing, it comes up, I always accent that, and that's like the key symbol for me. But here it also comes up as the number 17, which is about dreams coming true and healing and shining your light. And then it comes up as 171, because we had the I and the I with the chariot in between. So it's all 17171 to the nth degree. The I am that I am, the acing of the I, and rest, night indigo, of karmic seeing completion as opposed to completion, of the lifetime of study of the mercy ship, the spiritual partnership, or their part in the mercy ship and change, which is the triangle, the delta. But here it was coming up before the word from the numerology deck was DE, which is of, and then the DEL, and going into delta. So it went D, del, delta. Of the, or to exit, and of the cross to bear, of the human connection, which changes everything. And here the new moon was being accentuated because 133 is when the new moon happened today. To be or not to be, or be both. I, chariot. The I, chariot, with another I, then I, rest, adapt, indigo, of karmic completion or ompletion and the changes that have occurred. At the delta, where two rivers flower into one, or flow into one. And at that point, there is a hesitation, because as you all well know, in a traffic jam, a merge to dance every other, like cars merging into one lane at 142, the Magician and the Two of Cups. You have to work one-to-one and do the dance for it all to go smoothly, like Ellis Island, the melting pot. If you're all patient, all goes smoothly. If we resist sharing, therein lie the delay. Why the slow guy always arrives at the light before you do? They are going with the flow, allowing the universe to reorder for their highest good, while the resisting gets you nowhere fast, and you could end up in an accident at 145, which is the Magician, and the Five of Cups of purging, that there's a reason for everything. So then we go through the vowels again, where the A, letter A is number 1. It's the he with direction of focus. The capital E is the number 5. It's the she and the change of the rolling stone with excitement and purpose. Then the I, the letter I of the number 9, the I am, but also am them. And how do I serve them? The O of the 6, the human embodiment of source. Grounded and practical, but must learn to dance and have fun. And then we have the U of the 3, the holder of good cheer, the Holy Grail, or God's rail, the love train. That's you. So the last interpretation here is the I am, dear one. That's you. The T key, the L wrench, the chakra system or finger of God, to the library or the hand of God, which then connects to the love train that may put a wrench in your prior plans. The stars of the chariot, the I and the I am, the key of Ik and Ik, divine feminine in the masculine and the ride of their life, acing, resting in connection, the night indigo of change and or delta, the triangle, which is also the Y from above. The Y is the road or is the road, the pyramid, which is pi, ram, ID. You start as pi, which is the circle with a line through it, which is the embodiment, the human embodiment of source, balanced. And then the ram, which is the Aries, the balanced human embodiment of source, and learning to dance through the zodiac, the deep indigo night of change, the healer passengers of ascension via the 5D Connect infiltration or dark night of the soul, of change and spiritual career at 202. So there's all the 2s coming up again. So we start the read at 202, which is 2 divine feminines or high priestesses, but we have the 20 there too, which is judgment, the wake-up call, the clarion call, which is coming up as in this read. And we start out with the 7 of Cups reversed on top here, which in this deck, the 7 of Cups is a spiral staircase up to heaven. And beneath that, we have the Justice reversed, the Empress upright, the Chariot upright, and the 2 of Wands reversed, the 8 of Cups reversed. The injustice of the Empress and her ascension, or her abundance and vehicle, or no choice, or unable to implement right now, uncomfortable in emotions, or stuck in non-resonating energies, and dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads. Cleaning out, or all must go, or coming downstairs, and the injustice of Taurus and Cancer unable to move forward due to Libra reversed or injustice of restricted liberties here, or having to repeat steps or go downstairs to clean up or sleep, and finding satisfaction receiving the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, or the Knight in shining armor, holding on to the injustice of the world at large, or protecting self from the world at 2:11 to 12, which is the High Priestess, the Justice, and the Hanging Man, seeing another perspective. So at 2:14, which is Valentine's Day, or needing to be downstairs when the Knight of Swords package or delivery comes in, not trusting the neighbors or neighborhood, which is fine, or repeating steps due to arrogant one refusing to listen or hear and clinging to time, money, and effort between the injustice in the world, or Libra reversed and Pisces upright, or the Divine Feminine upright, and Justice or Libra reversed, holding on to self-satisfaction with a touch of arrogance here, and Pisces world or Divine Feminine community rising above the need for acceptance outside themselves, knowing and speaking their truth, regardless of what anyone else says or does, being authentic to oneself at 2:19, the High Priestess and the Sun. The Hermit's finding peace away from delays and petty arguments, with the Queen of Wands watching and satisfied as the King of Cups reversed is working to get their ducks in a row, or with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community with dysfunction or loss, and the Empress, Two of Cups, the peace treaty, the partnership, the connection, agreeing to end a conflict, or agreeing to disagree in a losing battle of a big offer of time, money, and effort, or a new life of contentment on the Fool's journey, free to leap with an open heart. With Libra reversed and Taurus and Cancer and Aries all upright here, but the Emperor reversed is unhappy with the King of Cups reversed doing all the work, for the Ten of Pentacles reversed, while the Empress upright connects one-to-one to end conflict and offer help to free others and their loyal pups, or help them set themselves free. There's no flash mob or flash dances over, along with the crocodile smiles and Croc Dundee, or Steve Irwin was coming up here, stabbed in the chest by those he loved, and the Simpsons. After being rolled over, and over, as we all know, because he was the crocodile guy, there was something that came up regarding Cousteau and Jim and Steve Irwin. It was like a spoof on Cousteau Jr. versus Steve Irwin and the Bermuda Triangle, but I never really found anything around that. But by the way, Steve Irwin's birthday was 2/22/62. So he was born like 5 months after me. But his birthday is 2/22, and here we are going into February soon, and then it's the year of 2022. And I looked it up. His birthday is actually Pisces, not Aquarius. So that the one I couldn't find anything on regarding Cousteau and the Bermuda Triangle was coming up from archive.org and then Croco Shark uploads. So you can look in those uploads if you'd like. But Philippe Cousteau Jr. and Steve Irwin, what I did get into was that I watched a YouTube about him, and this was called The Untold Truth of Steve Irwin. It's only 5 minutes if you want to watch it. It's very loving energy. And that was done 4 years ago. But he wasn't afraid of anything, but he was afraid of parrots because he felt like it was their job to bite him. He didn't know why, but it was. It's like the squirrels outside my house. It was their job to keep me awake all night. Doesn't know why, but it is. And then also he did claim his fear of hippos as well. When he was canoeing near a group and saw them, he was happy to go the other way. And then also was talking about the fact that he did not deal with anti-venom. He spoke about not getting envenomated, and he didn't carry anti-venom with him as well. It's a sort of like what we talk about being one with the snake so that they trust him. Like I talk about that with the animals all the time. And that by him, if he got the venom inside of him, it would be an energy that the animals would pick up on, which was true. But it was funny because the commentator was making fun of him afterwards that that's not how it really works, Steve. But okay, it works for you. ending conflict by inspiring others. And Steve was all about education and exciting people to get them excited about learning. So that was a little plug for Steve Irwin, that he entertained everybody, right? And then at 303, which is the 3 of the Empress and also the 30 of the Union, in the downturn, the slowdown, where the Wheel of Fortune was reversed here, in that twist of fate, the unhappy family, and talking about Steve Irwin, whose family, you know, was obviously crushed when he left them. The 10 of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or cycle of emotional unhappiness that's so over with the 4 of Wands reversed and the 6 of Pentacles reversed on top of the 10 of Cups reversed. There's great instability there of a home or family not sharing, imbalance and inequity. The 1111 of the Call of the Wild, when the circus came to town. The Ferris wheel that broke, the magician's tiger who bit him and lived to tell the story, just as the survivors over the Bermuda Triangle spin. When all goes wrong, or Murphy's Law, and who put Murphy in charge anyway? And then when food goes bad, one of the episodes of the dinosaurs, and animals turn on man. That's because of the internal wounding at play between man and animals, from family emotions to house issues and the inequity at play, all seeking justice or fair play to turn that arc or frown upside down, back to the roots of the family. And it was coming up as when you're building a new house, staking their ground. We're talking about stake as in a cow. So you're saying something violent when you stake your ground. When you break ground for the house, you're not only breaking ground, you're breaking all of its inhabitants within it to build a human home with sinkholes and graveyards who just needed good intention. That energy needed respect, and respect was coming up as our ESP is ecto, which is outside but without human embodiment of source, or ghost related. And what did come up regarding the ghost energies is that, I forget who was talking about this too, but ghost related projections are not the other side. They're reflections of past lives that have already been here. It's like residual energy, but it's not crossing over and connecting with, for example, masters and angels. It's not the same thing. The ghost-related projections are residual energies of human life, not the other side. They're just echoes of our lives. It's kind of like echoes of the library, uncovering old energies that were imbalanced. And when I was talking about this part, when this part came up, it was really negative energy that I was feeling. That residual love, because we don't need to connect with the residual love, we just need to connect with our higher self. And then unrequited love came up here, and beneath it finances and career, and the injustice and inequity of love and money, because they're both energetic exchange. The not sharing of love and the not sharing of money, which you can imagine most of these residual energies that are hanging out from prior lives are over love and money. The energy exchange, or the imbalance of it. And then at 319 of the Empress and the Sun, the King of Wands upright, an affectionate man, refusing to wake up, or no matter how much affection, unable to wake the Princess, Sleeping Beauty. And the Knight of Cups reversed, jealous, moody, or insincere, or feeling rejected and not wanting to wake, not wanting to get up and be loved. In the splitting of the chained up bulls, with the red flag clearly out of view, Hatari, Safari, and Sleeping Beauty about to get whipped into shape. No glam fantasy camp for you. Afterbath tickle, 3 lines down and a question mark, and then up, and then hup 2 for a pinch and a squeeze and a tropical breeze. It's time to wake up and work outside and breathe the fresh air. Time for grieving is over. It's time to uncover the mirror at 327, which is the Empress and the Ace of Wands. And I was getting Ralph Smart as I was saying that too, that he's always outside breathing the air. So at 328, which is the Empress and the 28 of the Twins, but also that choice of path. But remember, the Y in the road is just seeing a pyramid from above. The healing and financial disclosure comes up. It's financial discipline. So financial disciplines underneath and then healing on top of the Queen of Pentacles after walking away and within. With petty arguments, delays, and not expressing true feelings, the Queen of Pentacles reversed with happy family or happy ending, with dependent or powerless to temptation of the Holy Grail. The King of Cups reversed, wounded warrior down on their knee, or successful in landing after jumping from a plane. Didn't feel a thing because they were numb. There's no fear of death when one is depressed. The Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Sovereign reversed, which can be mother and child, not expressing their real feelings and pretending all is well, but they're actually bored, or the King of Cups is apathetic and bored and depressed and about ready to give up, or found some mushroom or fungi in the yard, Scotland yard, with ladybug present, mice into the cups and feet in the grass, fern overgrown inside and overgrowth outside as well, needing a haircut too. The squirrels tempted too, trying to access the house, and the King of Cups reversed, overwhelmed, just ready to give up. Or the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the Sovereign reversed and the King of Cups reversed and the wounded warrior, all needing guidance after going within, going down to the basement and into the subconscious realms to free themselves from the imbalance, the debt, the inequity, the scams, and the dysfunctional family of overspending, or the Queen of Pentacles healing from family or financial loss that's out of their control at 340, the Empress and the Page of Cups, or needing to take care of large bills or expenses, and leaving the wounded warrior path by repeating steps on the Fool's journey instead, walking away from imbalance and lack of sharing with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, as the Queen of Pentacles is healing, grounded, and practical. So going forward, we have, well, the underlying energy first was juggling the rainbow with the Page of Cups and Knight of Cups both reversed, kids, it's like the kids not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. And then going forward after the read of reaping rewards of the Page of Pentacles reversed, who may be in need of help, an opportunity or money, or missed an opportunity to call, wake up, or make an announcement to their lover, the Page of Cups upright, or Aquarius upright and Gemini upright with the kids, with nothing in common. So there could be two mothers and the mothers are upright, but the children may not be getting along. Maybe they have nothing in common. Standing up to the crowd, the Page of Swords is stepping it up to take a swing at 350, which is the Empress and that Ten of Cups of happiness. So in the underlying energy, the Ten of Cups at one point was upright, but the rest of the read, I believe the Ten of Cups was reversed. So that's why you're going to hear it both ways. So the Page of Swords is stepping up to take a swing, and the constant gardeners reaping rewards of daydreaming or retirement with no opportunities or invitations. So calling their lover, the Page of Cups, standing up for themselves with the Page of Swords messaging about their issues at work and moving on in an open-ended energy, but very successfully, to look back at what didn't go their way with third-party, bad influences, social distancing, overindulgences, partners, and drinkers, as well as antisocial behaviors at 354, the Empress and the Page of Swords. In the recent past is the shadow here. Perhaps the wounded warrior doing shadow work downstairs, or stepping it up to heal and dream with Star, Dream Girl, or Aquarius child, or healing connection, or communication. Or Capricorn receives a message from them about tripping up, or dripping up, knocked for a loop, or dropping the act, the facade, breaking patterns of release, or of releasing self with hard work or physical work, or working hard to separate from unending nightmare or suffering in silence or sister, or a lack of sleep and stress, or child star dropping the ball to get out of work, which only brought headache and suffering in silence for two, knowing and keeping to self for peace of mind, dead tired of being the Knight of Wands rushing back and losing patience, their temper, or to save the fallen angel at 426, the Emperor and the Page of Wands. With Capricorn, Aquarius upright, and Scorpio and Sag reversed here, doing shadow work with a message to heal and dropping the act or the ball to release their exercise. So dropping the ball then to exercise to help with physical ailments, right? So when you're stressed, of course, a lot of people like to exercise to release. For a heartache or headache or lack of sleep or suffering in silence, knowing and keeping their energy clear with Scorpio reversed in the South Node, and the never-ending story of the Knight of Wands, fallen angel, or losing patience or their temper. And the foundation of the Knight of Wands, wounded warrior, out of options, but to reap rewards and find peace or travel, with the Hermit shedding light in order to push buttons, overwhelm, to show unexpressed feelings and that need to be felt here. Or the wounded warrior needing to surrender to their worthiness and enjoy instead of not enjoying, and the Hermit pushed to the limit of purging and unrequited love. At 4:33, which is the Emperor and the Christ vibration, which is also the Seven of Wands. So the central energy here, guys, is the Ace of Wands upright. Big passion ignited, or a new passion project or creativity ignited, with the wounded warrior inflamed. So there could be inflammation here too. Whenever there's a lot of heat, there could be inflammation, so get some ice out. With a back pain or backpack, or a painful ending or betrayal, or lack of sleep and needing a massage perhaps. With the Queen of Cups reversed, there's lots of swords around her, receiving the Ace of Wands offer from the Page of Cups with a pet. Or being strong, taming the beast with temptation and saying hi to the Queen of Cups reversed, excited to see them. While the Page of Pentacles reversed is needing help or missed their last opportunity to get help. Or the Page of Cups Pisces, Leo, or Capricorn, and the Page of Pentacles reversed Capricorn with Scorpio, and the wounded warrior excited to get a message or give a message of growth and creativity to the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, and challenged by a break, a need to rest, or being sick, or the 5D connect, or in being in their head. The injustice of deception about a move, travel, a drive-by, or ascension. And Libra reversed, with Cancer upright and reversed, being deceptive about an offer since they ignored 3 others. Or the new moon today at 1:33 on the East Coast, and feeling bored, or grounding, integrating, and mastering the receiving of love. Hanging out and looking back at the Queen of Wands upright and the Sovereign upright. And that could be, again, a mother and child type energy, or perhaps 2 friends or sisters, or hanging out with 2 from the past. With Capricorn upright, and then Cancer upright and reversed, Libra and Scorpio reversed here, and the new moon with a new opportunity of love. When the sun comes out, while on break or at rest, all feels better, very childlike and ready to play, with the Knight of Wands rushing in to come clean, get clean, or clean up their act or space, and Leo upright and Sag upright, with the Page of Cups not knowing how to express their feelings in a creative way, avoiding the harsh truth, or after jealous rage and rehab, hospitalization, a MASH unit or dominatrix, or unusual sex practices. The Page of Cups with Scorpio in chart, presenting the harsh truth, perhaps of the dying King of Swords, or the coming out about their transition to the King of Swords, who's not wanting to hear it, or very militant about it, and cold without option but to face their fears and their insecurities and their manipulations, and the lack of tools exposed by the Hermit Sovereign, receiving a passionate offer at 5:01 from one trying to come clean, or leaving the fair or circus behind. And now crowning is the Knight of Swords, presenting the truth to the King of Wands about the Queen of Wands reversed, Devil reversed, or Scorpio with Capricorn, or unnatural death and very wounded by this, and this could be something they experienced in the past. Or the Queen of Wands reversed in detox, with dark night or withdrawal perhaps, and part of a program is to come clean to the King of Wands upright here, to make peace and go on their way. Finding success in one-to-one connection, or agreeing to disagree and part ways. The Knight of Swords with a message or delivery to the karmic tie, and the King of Pentacles reversed, dumping emotional attachments or multiple loads to set themselves free, offering themselves peace of mind. The King of Cups reversed in a three-way situation, or strumming their pain with their fingers, the magician may be over hangry, right? You know, when you get past that hungry place, and then you become manipulative because you just need your food. And that's the energy here of the star or healer or dreamer or dream come true. I don't know if they're that manipulative right there. Or the King of Cups reversed situation with a Gemini or Virgo reversed, an Aquarius upright with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, dysfunctional family or family of loss. With the High Priestess, religious Pisces or Aquarius, or High Priestess psychic Pisces or Virgo Cancer, moving, traveling, or ascending, avoiding coming together, or trying to have a reunion with the Emperor reversed, but he is resistant with no options, with the Hierophant, Taurus, religious leader, or in a marriage. Or the King of Cups in separation and being manipulative to get attention without physical reunion after eating out, with Pisces, Cancer upright, and Scorpio and Aries reversed, and Taurus, Aquarius upright as well here. Soon as the Knight of Cups reversed, defensive to the Magician reversed, after the injustice of being ignored multiple times, and the King of Swords with soulmate or kids, and defensive Queen of Pentacles or kids protecting them, or in a united front, as the High Priestess with Scrooge releasing themselves, and the King of Swords insecure and manipulative, the Queen of Pentacles on guard and secretive, but they're both upright, yet both holding their purity and innocence about each other. And the Knight of Cups reversed here could be the Cancer reversed, or a child of the King of Cups reversed and the Empress upright. The twin flames seeing themselves as karma, the wake-up call, the announcement of a break, prayer, or the clarion call, the 5D connect, or to lay things to rest, with the Queen of Swords upright speaking to the Knight of Pentacles upright with their back turned, or just there showing them the way at 517, which is the Hierophant and the star, and then the 18 of the moon and two out in the storm, and I was just getting desert storm, with bad influences or overindulging, with the Knight of Cups reversed, turning their back on an announcement, or voicing in their call how hurt they are, making the other sad or feel bad, and seeing themselves as above their employees or friends, or those who are humble and willing to serve. Or the Queen of Swords Aquarius could be pushing the Knight of Pentacles to work for them, or to go release the wounded warrior who's obviously uncomfortable about lovers, twins, or Gemini, ending conflict with issues at work. Or Karmic or Aquarius is on break pushing the Knight of Pentacles to go to work after an injury, or late night out drinking, with the Knight of Cups reversed dead to the world, and blasting music or calls to make others feel bad and get them moving. Romantic feelings, and you deserve love, and this could be the one, and trust all come up for the twins here, where around the twins or how they may be seen is the Eight of Swords reversed. A karmic released, or layoffs perhaps, and the wounded warrior uncomfortable with that and guarded, or in guarded condition, with lovers in a losing battle of not coming together to co-create. Only Aquarius and Gemini upright energies here around the twins, with the clarion call for twins to be released from a contract at 529, which is the Hierophant, and being present to the gift at the moment. The block here is the indigo, refused an offer, or there was no counter, and the Queen of Pentacles losing patience with the Page of Wands reversed, or no longer inspired by them. Or the Queen of Pentacles has a sick child at home, or a fallen angel who's all over the place. Perhaps twins seeing themselves as judgmental and defensive, manipulative and insecure, with karmic completion, leadership, spiritual partnership, change, but even more so here, spiritual career. With no big love at work except third party, dumped on, purging, or pushed to the limit, sweating it out, dumping a load, and the King of Wands shaman, with the King of Cups reversed, detached from the Empress upright, and the Emperor reversed, with Hierophant or Taurus refusing to have a meal, with the Hermit and the Emperor reversed, who may be with a group, and the Empress upright, with the King of Cups reversed, and the King of Wands may be between the Emperor and the Empress, not siding with either, and the King of Wands shaman doesn't eat out, because maybe he's a shaman and he doesn't eat food that's not organic, or being monk-like, with Sovereign being offered inspiration to come clean, to get clean or clean up their act, humbling themselves or in a 12-step program, purging a third party through work or lack of co-creation and love. The King of Wands upright, Sag or Leo, in a breakthrough to the Emperor reversed or an Aries reversed, or being unreasonable and deceptive, or at the new moon or up before dawn or up all night, meditating, praying, or trying to end the war within with third-party energies and bad influences or overindulgences, or dropping the ball to come clean about the war, or of hoping not to come together while still aligning and trying to get organized, so not wanting to come together until they're fully ready. And then it's 542, the Hierophant and the Two of Cups, or they just don't want to see them with their drunk friends as well. The injustice of abundance of the mother's love in a car, vehicle, or ascension with no choice but to be in uncomfortable energies or emotions, and then circle back down to dump emotional attachments and or multiple loads to the shadows, the wounded warrior's path down below. The wounded warrior ignited with a new passion project to tell the truth, challenged by rest, break, whistleblower's arrest, or 5D connection, and the karma of the Knight of Cups reversed out of prison or released of anxieties by manipulating the King of Wands, Leo or Sag, or in a breakthrough with the Emperor reversed, Cancer reversed, or at the new moon today, and done stretching and growing, ending the war within by not coming together socially and instead keeping their nose to the grindstone. And that was your read. All right, so let's just do some quick oracle cards. It's 1:06 on the clock. That's not too bad. And it's 7:50 on my clock. It just turned to 51 from the 10 of Cups. So the vehicle of the Chariot and the emotional fulfillment, and then switching to the King of Swords. And let's see, what is our takeaway from this read today? That was a long read. I think that was the longest twin flame read I've ever had. Okay, what is our takeaway from all of this? Okay, the lizard. And in this deck, the lizard is all about the Y in the road, which we talked about in the read, because the Y in the road is the pyramid from above. So you may see the lizard as this from the side, but you know, what does they look like from the top down? It's all in the perspective. And look what they're drawing in. So again, I'm getting Steve Irwin, you know, with the crocodile type of energy, right? Really inspired to get them to see new perspectives on the lizard, right? Because a lot of people don't like lizards. But this is like Steve Irwin really being able to find a real true appreciation for animals that perhaps a lot of other people don't like. And there's the shark attack. This is very dizzying energy. It's not good energy here. It's making me feel kind of yucky, right? Because we have the shark here, right? This is very 3D energy, ready to pounce, you know. That could be a bad energy too. And then the lizard, which isn't in this deck a bad character, but it can be construed that way. So I'm getting those with a bad rap. And then there's the moth to the flame and the firefly, whose big inspiration is very fleeting. It doesn't last very long. And then we have, this is the ones with the bad rap. And then we have the hyena, who makes fun of others because of their own insecurities, right? And then we have this other section here with the eagle coming down to trigger people. And there's Mr. Ed, of course. And I'm getting here, the hyena is looking at me. The hyena is saying, so how is it different when I say things that trigger people than when the eagle comes in and triggers people? Well, it's all because of intention, right? because the hyena's intention is to make themselves feel superior, right? Because they are insecure. Whereas the eagle's intention is purely to get people up and moving to help themselves. It's a different intention. And then here we have the horse, which is Mr. Ed, of course. And also the eagle's under the orders of Mr. Ed. And that's now Mr. Ed's looking back at the hyena. He had my permission to do so. That's really funny. And this also, I was just watching something on Michael Sala's channel about, whistleblower about a mission going up to the moon or other places around Jupiter, I guess. So again, it's the secret space programs coming up here as well. And there's the mouse in the house. And there's the owl. Do I have an owl in my house? I hope not. So that's about it. I mean, I just pulled a lot of cards, but we also have the owls, they're not hooting, they're clammed up. And then there's the phoenix rising from the ashes. And so this is like the bookends, the eagle and the phoenix, they're very much that same energy. It's like this one's the darting down, and then this one's the rising back up of it, the bookends of the twins, and the energies between. And after all the ones who got a bad rap. And that's funny too, because it's like a rap, because some of the stuff that was coming up when I was looking up Steve Irwin was a rap. It was like a funny spoof rap. It's very interesting, the energy here between the two birds. Because we have the horse with the mouse, the owl, and the clam, or the oyster clammed up. It's like the pairing up, like the horse is with the mouse, because it's like they're getting the stragglers, the little ones who are very vulnerable, and it's not their fault they can't keep up with everybody else, because they're just little, like the mouse. They're really struggling to keep up because they're tiny, and even though they have this rainbow energy, the dark is overwhelming them. So, just one second here. And then we have the owl with the oyster, and their pearl's just not ready yet. So it's like these guardians coming in to take care of the most vulnerable of the pack. And then we have the bookends at both ends still diving and rising as the phoenix to clear the air, to help with these last little stragglers, to help bring them up to speed. So it's like bringing all the little ones up to speed. And then these are all the ones in the middle who still have to do it on their own, because they're grown-ups. They're not the little ones. They have to figure it out on their own. And they may be the ones that are still having a little trouble seeing the truth of it. But they can do it. And then the bottom of the deck here is the dolphin. And that's beautiful energy at the bottom of the deck, because this is so much passion. I mean, he doesn't need anything. You see there's no dark around him. He's fully clear because he's in that high vibrational compassion energy, and that's very Lemurian energy. And then we have the dragonfly here too, which is that 2 of 1. As they mate, they're a pulsing heart. And even though this is air, it's the alchemical symbol here of water as well. It's reminding me of the Aquarius energy. And then the dolphin, of course, is very water as well. And actually, when I saw the first dragonfly's mating was right at the water's edge. And there's the dolphin, and there's the teacher. So this is also the kundalini coming up to the crown, wrapping over the head. Wrapping over the head. So there's wrapping coming up again. The wrapping. Oh, the gift too. They're talking about my gift. The Rolling Stone E. The gift that you are. Wrapping it up. And wrap it up now because it's long. Okay, so it's really coming to the top, to the crown, where 2 hearts then collapse into one and beat as one. And then the dolphin comes out in this very beautiful, compassionate energy to support all these other energies awakening and kind of feeling lost or not having a group to be a part of. And then the big guy's taking care of the littlest ones, but the ones in between, they got to work it out themselves. So let's see what the journey of love has for you. All right, from the journey of love. The burning hero, the three of the Empress, and she was upright in the read. This is like the fiery feminine here, the burning hero. It's like the feminine keeping the masculine on the outside until he's earned his way in. The burning hero, like burning through that last bit that needs to be healed. And then we have the choice. It's always your choice, and that's the 862 is the 8 of Swords. It's always your choice to stay in the prison or release yourself, and you notice that these both look like the same thing. It's just this one's stagnant and this one's on the move. It's always your choice. You can stay there and burn, or you can release yourself. And there's the breaking of it, the release, the fire and ice, the 37 of unconditional love, of standing in the middle instead of being at one side or the other. Expansion and contraction, or in the middle, reflecting and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And then we have the bottom of the deck, which is the Ancient Ones receiving all the light, the 52 of the Queen of Swords, who's been receiving a lot of light, which may be why I'm exhausted today, because we just had a lot of light coming in. And then we also have, besides these three, it's just showing you like a progression of going from the fire to cooling off. It's always your choice to leave this hot situation if it's too hot to handle, of the Empress, and then releasing from the imprisonment of anxiety or too much in your head with more movement here, and then getting to the place of the break of the polarities so that you can clearly see the middle of it all, right? The monkey in the middle, being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Remember, when you're in your knowing, you don't have to see it with your eyes because you know it by your feeling. You see the light here. Maybe you don't see it fully here because the white looks like the yellow in the fire. But as you get to here, you're able to see the white more if you're not sure of your feelings. If you're in your knowing, you don't need to go to this spot because you already know over here that it's there. You're just trusting. And sometimes we need to break apart in order to see the middle more clearly. And that's always your choice too. There's no judgment here. This is unconditional love of fire and ice, of the polarities, and understanding the difference and yet still choosing the middle. And then we have the towering magnificence of the 30 of the union, of coming together in union, and how beautiful it is. And you see how the energy of the middle here is reflected more into this energy here. The Empress and the release with the King of Cups in the union. All right, so the first cards out, we had the Lizard. Lizard, where are you? Lizard's fire. It's instinctual, sensitive to subtle, and dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card's an indication to pull back from the bright lights and the big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. When in balance, artistic, telepathic, and spiritual, but when out of balance, they can be elusive, non-committal, and flaky because they just need some break away from the crowds to bring back into balance a creative project. Okay, so all these middle guys here who may be struggling with their energies, not knowing how to deal, they all need to find a creative project, and they all may be different kinds of creative abilities because they're all very different personalities. They need to find their own group. And then we have the burning hero, number 3. I am tired too. Number 3. From the transformative fires of life's tests, you emerge now stronger in self-belief, overcoming self-doubt and fear, and shedding the layers that have held you back from burning as a naked flame of divine love. Can you perceive the coolness fast approaching to soothe your fire-weary soul? Peace is coming to you now, a respite from the fire, before you are ready to burn into love again. The intensity of fire exists in relationship to cool serenity, and you are capable of experiencing both. Your inner fire has pushed you forward, and your creative self-expression will manifest into the most beautiful forms. This is assured. You burn bright now, and yet it will be the cooling of your soul embers that replenishes you and inspires you to new creative depths and heights in due time. This oracle brings you a message from the heat of your labor. Sweet success will arise, and you can act now as if that success has already been made manifest. It is only a matter of time before it is so. From that success, new levels of experience and creative manifestation will take place. You're in a powerful creative cycle of intensity and serenity, dancing with each other through the heart, like the sweet relationship of day and night. This cycle yields great harvest. Offer yourself in contribution to the greater good, and your harvest will not only be of earthly delight, but of heavenly blessings too. Always feeling your love in every cell of my being, I open my soul, becoming one in your embrace. How rich the moments shared, I savor every one. And even when apart, your love envelops me, with knowing we are complete. Together like a new day, we are born. Okay, guys, take a big breath. Remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature, and rise and be love. I'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing day.